The Knicks are still only 1.5 games back currently from the Boston Celtics for the second seed in the East, but behind the 42-25 record, a crisis is brewing in the starting five. Mikal Bridges, the $150 million man brought in to be the ultimate 3-and-D weapon, has officially hit a wall. 0 points against the Lakers, 5 points against the Utah Jazz on 2 of 9 shooting, 7 points against the Clippers, so in his last 5 games, Mikal is averaging just 7 points per game on a brutal 30% from the field. But here is the real issue. When the shots don't fall, the defense begins to disappear too. Today we're breaking down the Mikal Bridges slump, why the Jordan Clarkson Utah masterclass changed everything, and why Mike Brown has no choice but to shake up this rotation before the playoffs start. We all know Mikal is a rhythm player, but look at the tape from the Utah game. Even in a win, Mikal was a -13 on the floor while the bench was feasting. The Iron Man narrative is great, but the fatigue looks real. Usually Mikal is the guy who locks down the opponent's best player so OG Anunoby can play free safety. But right now, he's losing his man on basic backdoor cuts and late rotations. Mike Brown explicitly challenged the team at halftime in Utah, calling for more accountability. When your starting wing is shooting 22% from the floor, it sucks the life out of the transition defense. Mikal desperately needs a get-right game, but until that happens, the Knicks are essentially playing 4-on-5 on the offensive end, and it's forcing Brunson and Cat to work twice as hard for every bucket. While Mikal struggles though, the secret weapon has finally been unboxed. After weeks of collecting DNPs, Jordan Clarkson returned to Utah and reminded Mike Brown exactly what he's been missing. 27 points, 10 of 15 shooting, 17 points in a massive second-half surge that saw the Knicks outscore the Jazz by 26. JC was a +19 in a game where the starters struggled early. This wasn't just garbage time scoring, it was high leverage shot clock winding down. We need a bucket basketball. Jalen Brunson said it best, quote, "He's an example for anybody. Continue to work, persevere." JC's ability to create his own shot is something that nobody else on this bench, not even Jose Alvarado, can do. When the offense stalls and Mikal is clanking corner threes, JC is the break in case of emergency button that Mike Brown has to keep his finger on. So what does the bench rotation look like tonight in Indiana? If I'm Mike Brown, I'm leaning into the KNYT blueprint. We need a bench unit of Jose Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson, Landry Shamet, Mo Diawara, and Mitchell Robinson. Now, if you see Alvarado struggling out there, put in Kolek instead. Kolek provides the table-setting stability that prevents those 20 turnover meltdowns that we saw against the Clippers. Alvarado, despite his own shooting struggles, was a massive +28 in Utah because of his connection with JC. They are playing tag team basketball right now. Until Deuce McBride returns from surgery, this bench mob is the only reason that the Knicks are still chasing that number 2 seed. You put Kolek in to manage the clock, JC to provide the microwave scoring, and Alvarado to cause chaos. That is a unit that can survive while Brunson catches his breath. But let's look deeper at why Mikal's shooting slump is actually a defensive crisis. In Mike Brown's system, Mikal Bridges is the point of attack specialist. When he's hitting shots, he has the legs and the energy to fight over screens and stay glued to players like Donovan Mitchell or Tyrese Halliburton. Just as an example, but when you go 0 for 6 or 2 for 9 from the field, the mental fatigue sets in. We're seeing Mikal gamble more on steals because he's trying to make up for the missed buckets, and that leaves OG Anunoby on an island. If Mikal isn't locked down, OG has to help off his man, which opens up the corner 3 for the opposition. This is why the Knicks' defensive rating has slipped to 14th over this last road trip. It's not that Mikal has lost his talent, it's that the lack of offensive rhythm is making him play heavy-legged on the other end. For this team to reach its goals of at least getting to the finals and winning a championship, Mikal does not need to score 25. He just needs to score enough to keep his defensive intensity at an all-defensive level. And that brings us to the Tyler Kolek factor. One of the biggest reasons for the Knicks' recent collapse quarters has been the lack of a true floor general when Brunson sits. Jose Alvarado is great for chaos, but Kolek is the one who actually organizes the half-court set. Kolek is a gym rat. He stays after practice to play one-on-ones with JC and other guys, learning his tendencies and figuring out how to maximize that bench scoring. If Kolek tries to hold his own defensively and plays like a 5-year vet on offense, it allows Mike Brown to keep Mikal's minutes restricted to around 30. giving him the rest that he clearly needs to find his jumper again. We also have to remember that this rotation is not just about regular season wins, it's about playoff survival more importantly. Jordan Clarkson and Tyler Kolek both showed us during the NBA Cup Finals against the Spurs that they are not afraid of the bright lights. JC is a former 6th Man of the Year for a reason. He's a big game hunter. When the playoffs hit and the game slowed down, you need guys that can create something out of nothing. Right now, Mikal is struggling to make his shots, which definitely happens to all types of shooters, relying mostly on catch and shoot opportunities and fadeaway mid-range jumpers. But I think Jordan Clarkson should definitely be integrated into the rotation by Mike Brown because it would build a playoff-ready second unit that would not crumble when the pressure ramps up. It's all about building those reps today so that when we're facing the Celtics or the Pistons in May, the bench does not just hold the lead, they extend it. And tonight, the Knicks face an Indiana Pacers team that has lost 11 straight games. On paper, a blowout. In reality, a massive trap. The Pacers have already split the season series with us, even as a tanking team, and Mike Brown is demanding a wake-up call for the first quarter energy. The Knicks have been starting games with a net rating of a whopping negative 15.3 since the All-Star break. That has to change tonight. I'm looking for Mikal Bridges to finally break the double-digit mark and for Jordan Clarkson to get at least 20 minutes of run. If the Knicks win tonight, they move to within only one game of Boston for the second seed. Let me know in the comments though, are you worried about Mikal or is the JC spark enough to carry us through? It's KNYT here and I'll see you guys in the next one.